If I'm honest, the last 3 weeks have been the hardest of my life, and the fact it's only been 3 weeks blows my mind. It feels more like 3 years. 3 weeks ago, I experienced a change in my life that shook me straight down to my core. Without going into deep detail, in one conversation, my whole world got flipped upside down, and I lost so much. A source of happiness, a source of comfort, companionship, inspiration, a large part of my self-identity, the thing that gave me a newfound purpose in life, and how I imagined and expected my life to turn out. All vanished. Poof, gone. My heart shattered. Days of bawling my eyes out until I couldn't breathe, hyperventilating, and then catching my breath just to wait for the next fit to hit. Having to force myself to eat because I have no appetite, and trying my best at putting on an okay face when I have to be around people. As the shock of it started to lessen, I was able to start processing it all and learn just why it hurt so bad. I thought I was losing just one thing, but I began to realize it was all the things that I listed before and more. I began to discover how much this change in my life was affecting not just one part of my life, albeit it was a huge part of it by itself, but it is affecting my whole life. How I perceive life, and what I had already subconsciously decided was the future for my life. And with every one of these new revelations, my despair and grief multiplies. I knew this was very important to me, but why didn't I realize the whole magnitude of how this was ingrained in who I was and wanted to be? Questions begin to form. Why didn't I fight more? Did I fight too much? How did it get to the point where change had to happen? Did I misinterpret what I had been told? Was it true? What do I do now? But along with the despair, grief, and questions, there's still hope. Hope is twofold here. I have hope in Jesus, and I know He is with me through this and has a plan for me. I don't know what that plan is, because I thought this was the plan. And maybe it still is, but maybe it isn't. And that's a tough thing for me to reconcile. Which brings up the other side of hope. The hope that this isn't fully over. Don't get me wrong. I know that in the present day and time, it is gone. And I'm learning and trying to accept that. But there is still the possibility that this thing gets a second chance. Could be a few months from now, could be years from now. But the door hasn't shut fully, at least not yet. And that fact has me stuck. Stuck between a place of perpetual grief and sadness of all that is lost, and a place where there is anxiety and fear over the fact it won't pan out, but holding hope it may not be completely gone. Stuck in a place of not knowing how or which way to proceed. Stuck not knowing what to do next, and paralyzed by indecision, doubt, and regret. Stuck in a place of being told to move on by people who care for me and only want what they perceive as best for me, and having this deep feeling I'm not done with this yet. Whether it's for the desired second chance, or for me to learn and grow all I can from this entire situation before whatever future unfolds ahead of me. It is a deep-seated feeling in my soul telling me to hold where you are. It's not all doom and gloom though. I've grown a lot in these last few weeks, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. I've been able to examine myself and thought patterns in a different light and have uncovered some truths about myself. I've lost some weight, initially from the depression of the event, but have made a point to exercise regularly, both as a coping mechanism and self-improvement. And I've spent so much more intentional time in prayer and devotion than I normally have. No matter the ultimate outcome, I'm going to come through this a better person. My tears have become quieter and less violent with time, but they haven't stopped. The lump in my throat and the heaviness they're still there. The feelings of grief, despair, being lost, loneliness, and directionless still overwhelm me. I am not okay, but that's okay. I'm struggling through the biggest loss I've ever encountered, and it's affected my life and future in ways I wasn't prepared for. The best piece of advice I've received during this time: you can grieve what is lost and still have hope in Jesus. It doesn't have to be one or the other. And that simple phrase, and many others similar I've seen or read, have given me something tangible to cling to in this time of sadness, confusion, worry, loneliness, growing, learning, wondering, seeking, and praying. Thank you for watching and listening. I just had to get all that out there somewhere. Give someone you care about a hug today. Never know how much they may need or want one.